Hi, I'm in Drogheda in County Louth, and I'm at the Bullys Acre, or the workhouse graveyard. That's the entrance, but it's Dain Trocra Orha. It says Oscuelga over the top, and then there's a really substantial limestone wall all along this lane, and I've planted beech trees, really good condition. Nice sod cap on the wall, so it's in great condition. This seems to be a busy enough lane, and part of a growing town, I imagine, in Drogheda. But looking into the graveyard, the burial ground, it looks overgrown. Try this gap in the wall. Whoop. Bottles of rum, hats, plastic bottles. Alright. The site is triangular. Pardon me, the railway line is just over there. There's maple or sycamore. More here. Alright, so there's an outer layer of beeches, and then the back layer are maples. And then inside there's this central cross. The site measures 120 metres in length and about half that in width. And here it is now, it's all overgrown with thistles, meadowsweet, brambles all down the back. Right, so there's paths here, there's people walking in and out, people walking dogs, maybe people coming in. Alright, so there's a little nook down there as well. Alright, so that's the triangular site there. So, Bullys Acre. Gary Dempsey did work on Bullys Acre a while ago when he was a student with Paul Gosling, and he said the main association he can see is that it seems to be burial grounds for poorer people. And that's what this is here. The Drogheda workhouse is down there, closer into the town, and then this Bullys Acre is here. There are certainly workhouse burials in here, but I saw somewhere online that somebody said the first registered burial here was 1840. But if the workhouse is in use since 1841, and if this was already pre-existing for low status burials, maybe it was in use from the early days. We'll have to get a historian to look at that. But if this wasn't used during the famine, 1847, 48, 49, maybe they kept it clear until the 1850s. 50, 51 would still be in the famine period proper. So there's potentially a lot of people buried in here, and the workhouse changed into a district hospital then, and burials and what they call paupers burials continued up here. So if I go down along this edge where the grass is lower, pardon me, just to see, can I get a feel for it and see, are there any undulations underfoot? What we've seen elsewhere is that paupers burials tend to be very often in individual graves, single short graves, something thrown in from the road. There's the hint of swathes of little depressions in the grass, which usually indicates depressions in the ground, which is usually grave hollows. Just there's a mass of brambles there. There's birds over in the willows and in the brambles, so there's a lot of biodiversity here. It's like it's working. Unfortunately, the graves are hard to spot. I haven't the right boots on, so I won't go all the way in. Go over and we'll look at the cross. It's a very fine cross. It's a ringed cross. Nice design. There's a lovely smell of glasses. There's a lovely smell of meadowsweet. All big tussocks of coarse grass underfoot. Ugh. Alright, there's more of a path here. Yeah, it's nice, very fine limestone. There's a bordered base here. There's rubbish down there. I think this is used as a private little zone by people who want to come in and be on their own. Bottles of beer, that kind of thing. There's vandalism and there's painting, there's graffiti on the cross, so I won't bother showing that. So this has got potential. It looks to me like the ground hasn't been filled. It looks to me, oh, there's the meadowsweet, gorgeous. There's a triangular site called Bullys Acre. It's potentially older as a burial spot. So it has potential. If it has a long history of low status burials, then that's interesting. A lot of our workhouse burials are, they only start in those 1840s. Our burial grounds, or dedicated burial grounds, only start in the 1840s. There's a bit of a path coming over here. Okay, massive brambles. Hawthorn saplings, self-seeded. More. Bird's egg. Okay, Drogheda is interesting because it has that whole association with Cromwell and the siege of Drogheda. And looking on the first edition maps, there were a couple of features in the landscape just beyond us here called Cromwell's Mount and Cromwell's Lane down the other way. So places have got his name attached to them. And if there were executions and massacres at that time, where did the burials take place? So I guess research here would involve looking at tallying with what Gary did with the Bullys Acre sites, and then tallying with the workhouse records as well, and then see how long burials took place here, how long they continued after it became a district hospital. I read a very nice little letter in the Irish Independent by a gent who was passing by here, and he saw a donkey and cart coming through the railway bridge below there, and two gents who were patients or inmates of the district hospital were sent up to bury one of their a fellow inmate who had passed away. I think they said he came from Annagassan, so he was buried in here. Two men with a pony and trap coming up Blackbush Lane, and buried without ceremony, I think is how you would put it. And we've heard that elsewhere as well, I think down in Tralee. That's going on here. Very nice site. Resting, you might say, at the moment. If there had been, it looks to me like the grass has been cut regularly, although maybe not for the last 5 or 6 years. You'd never know, we might come across a previous LiDAR survey here or something like that might help us trace them, so we'll have a look at that. Alright, so this is John Tierney as part of the Historic Graves project and part of our Incultum Famine Graves project, visiting Drogheda, Bullys Acre.